Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to Bezos Volume 2 from Bo Burnham's Inside. I know I didn't really react to the first one. I kind of did like a joke thing about it. So I think for this one, I'll actually like react to it and try to analyze it. It's also a very short one. And maybe I'll like group them both together or something like that. So let's do it.
Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos. Oh, Jeffrey Bezos.
What is he wearing?
Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos. You did it, Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos. Congratulations.
Oh my god. Okay, that was great. I don't know which one I like more. If I like the first one or the second. I think I like the first one more, but this one is definitely certified bop material here. So I guess to start off, keep in mind that Bo made this back, in 2020 during the pandemic, when there was like that whole obviously like the billionaires profited off of the pandemic like hugely, right? And there was like this kind of like a race between like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and whoever else to be like the richest man again or whatever, like with like Tesla stock, and obviously like Amazon benefited a ton or whatever. But so I think the first song is him like in the middle of it like cheering on Jeffrey to become the richest man in the world or whatever. And then time has obviously passed since the first song, like his beard and everything is much longer. So, he said, "You did it and congratulations." So, I mean, maybe this is after he had, surpassed Elon Musk, to become the richest man in the world again or whatever. I think, I can't really think of much else, from the first one. I feel like that one was pretty self-explanatory. I don't really know what the screaming was at the end of the first one. Maybe it was just how crazy the whole thing really is, and frustration or something with people still supporting like these billionaires and their companies and their ventures and all that stuff. But this one is interesting though. I think he's wearing like a ghillie suit. I played a little PUBG in my day. I don't play like shooters very much. Like that's really the only shooter I ever really played. But I did play PUBG, and this reminds me of like the ghillie suit or whatever you get in that. So like and the sunglasses. Now that I think about it like more and more, it feels like, because I just thought in my head, right, like a ghillie suit, you're using it to hide from something, or like it's like a disguise or like camouflage or whatever, right? And I feel like as we have gotten further in this special, like Bo is using these like silly songs maybe as like a coping mechanism, like shit and all time low, like obviously very silly songs about like a very like sad subject, or like a something that might be hard for most people to talk about. Like with his ATL song, he's sitting in his room by himself, very like depressive sort of environment or whatever, and then he just does that and goes into like singing this really happy sounding song and stuff, and then he goes right back after he explains it to like being sad or whatever, like on the outside, like he's not doing very well. So with the ghillie suit and the sunglasses, it kind of makes me think he's hiding from, he's like going more and more into hiding as the special goes on, like as a way, like a coping mechanism or something like that, as a way to hide from like his feelings, or like the way that he feels. And like the lighting with like the green lighting, like I'm assuming that's just like, money, like, money is green. I don't know what the light show in the background is all about, but I can just imagine Jeff Bezos. He's probably like a dense dude, or like he's so used to people like sucking up to him probably, that if he ever heard these songs or whatever, he probably would just like take them seriously and be like, wow, this guy really likes me. I'm glad he like, made these songs about me, blah blah blah. Like he cheering me on and stuff. And I'm just like imagining him blasting this as he's like riding off to space in his little penis rocket ship or whatever. Oh man. Funnily enough, Bo probably bought this ghillie suit off of Amazon. Like I can't really think of another website. I'm sure there are. Maybe like a hunting website or something where they would have like something like that. But I mean, like the most obvious choice would be Amazon, which is kind of funny in itself, kind of like what my first video was about. I am glad that he does throw like these silly songs in there. Like this song came right after like that one little bit where he has like the little light thing on his head and he's talking about how he's never going to finish the special because then that means he has to go back to his everyday life and he won't have the work of the special to distract him from the way that he feels like with his anxiety and depression and all of that stuff, and like kind of getting back to the real world. So he's like, I'm never gonna finish it, I'm never gonna release it, so F you and bye. And then it immediately goes to this where he's like wearing a ghillie suit, hiding essentially, and then it's just like a silly song. So it takes like a sad moment and immediately jumps into like this bop, and it makes you it just like a switch flips in your head where you were like, damn, that's kind of sad, but then it's like this song comes out of nowhere and you're like, okay, and then whatever else is after this. But and what's really weird, and I don't know if this was intentional or if, I mean, obviously you can read into any of this however you want and interpret it however you want. Everyone's got like different ways of viewing things, but this kind of popped into my head how, like Amazon is just like this huge corporation, just like it is everywhere, right? And then funnily enough, in this special, Jeff Bezos pops up several times in the special, and obviously he's associated with Amazon, so it just feels like it's almost like a commercial. It's like that little like 30 seconds or 45 seconds or whatever of making you think about Amazon, even though the song is more about, it's just like satire about like Jeffrey Bezos and being, the richest man in the world, and like how it's like this big accomplishment to have billions and billions of dollars. And again, he's associated with Amazon, but like it still makes you think about Amazon. So it's like Amazon is still everywhere. Like even if he didn't mean it that way, it's like it's still there. I really don't know what the light show is about in the background. I don't know. Maybe you guys know in the comments, but yeah, please let me know what you think about the light show. I can't really think of anything. Yeah, I can't really think of anything what the light show represents. So, but yeah, that was it, guys. That was the reaction to Bezos II. I love the 80s. I don't know why 80s music is so hype. Like you got the synth, like the guitars and like the drum beats and everything are always like just like really hype. So I don't know. I really like that song. I think I like the first one better, but that one was still really good too. It was a funny one. But as always, guys, leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. The next one is Funny Feeling, which, people have been telling me nonstop to do that one. And then I think All Eyes on Me is after that. So I'm very excited about those ones. They seem very like highly requested. I've seen like the thumbnails and other people like reacting to them. I haven't watched the reactions, and I haven't seen like the songs, of course, or heard them, but just from what you guys have been saying, it seems like those ones are going to be pretty good. So later, everybody.